So I went to see Cattle Decapitation, which was nice. It's now a very cold morning after. And first off, before I get to that, they were supported by Revocation and then Shadow of Intent. There was a band on first, but because of the traffic going into Manchester, I managed to miss the first band. Who would have guessed that the traffic going into Manchester would be really bad at 6 p.m. on a Saturday night? Not me, obviously. So Revocation played. Seen Revocation before. They're a really good, solid band. They're quite guitar heavy for a death metal band, and the mix didn't do them. The mix was good, right? So there wasn't a bad mix or anything, but it didn't really, when they played their blistering guitar solos, it just didn't come across. So that was the only problem with the mix, was that it just, I don't know, it sounded okay, and then when they got to like the blistering guitar parts, it didn't pop, you know. So Shadow of Intent, come on now. Shadow of Intent are a sort of deathcore band, and I'm not a core fan, but I've always wondered, you know, when you watch these core bands, they've got this amazing production, and they sound a certain way, you know, they sound sort of unbelievable, basically. And I always think, I wonder if they can actually do that in real life. And the answer for Shadow Intent is yes, they can. And I just literally spent an hour amazed at the singer's voice. I was like, how is a human being making those noises? It was very impressive. It's not turned me into a core fan, because it's like, oh, now the breakdown, and I don't know, we go wow 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 wow. But he has these super high-pitched, sort of screamy voices, and then a sort of voice so low that it loosens your bowels, you know, and he just swaps from one to the other at will. Yeah, of course the band are all playing like demons. So I was super impressed with Shadow of Intent, and the sound was really good. And I'm still not a core fan, but as a spectacle, it was very entertaining. God, it's too early for this. And then Oncon Cattle Decap, who I've never seen and I was really looking forward to. And I don't know what it is, but they have something that makes them special. And they are absolutely uncompromising blast of sound and fury, with a heaviness to it. You know, they're playing really fast and they're, you know, but there's a heaviness running through it. That, you know, the chords they use. Oh, that was something. Going back to Shadow of Intent, they had a lot of backing tracks, of like orchestral backing tracks. So everything they did sounded like epic. You know, it was all had sort of the Star Wars music backing track, na, 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 kind of thing. Not exactly that one, but you know what I mean. And behind it sounded cool. And but yeah, Cattle Decap. It was a sort of a mind-melting hour. They only played for an hour. Why did they put 4 bands on so that everyone gets squeezed for time? And it just don't. You know, 3. I'd personally, I'd go back to the days of 2 and just have 2 good bands doing proper slots, you know, of time. But hey ho, I guess that's the past. But yeah, Travis's voice, just like, what's going on here? How are you doing that? Everything, the drummer's just insane. So I took my wife, who has never heard of Cattle, who's never really listened to death metal, to be honest. And she's not suddenly a death metal fan, you know. It was like, she was like totally impressed by the thing, you know. It was like, wow, that was a thing, that was an experience, you know. So really, basically, a very good night was had by all. And the place was, it's called New Century Hall in Manchester, and it's a really nice venue. I mean, it's got this lovely lighting in the ceiling, this ambient lighting that changes colour, as or like, and sort of bathes the crowd in different colours when nothing's even happening. When there's you don't notice when the band's on, but when it's not on, they have all this colour changing ceiling, and they've got a sprung floor, so you can feel the floor moving. And underneath it is a really nice restaurant. I hope they've got some good soundproofing. So it was a strange place to have cattle decap, But yeah, it was a really good night. And I was by the time it was over, I was done. I was like, yeah, okay, because I'm getting old now. So it was like, okay, my legs have had enough of standing here for, what was it, 3 hours or something. There was also the biggest mosh pit I've ever seen, which just grew and grew and grew. And as usual, nobody got hurt. There's like 100 or so, or 200 people all flailing around, and a big circle pit, and of course no one got hurt. Because we're all there just to have a good time. It's all about the music. I'm a listener. I don't want to do the mosh pit thing. I mean, I have once or twice, but I don't want to do it. I want to listen. I want to hear what's going on in the band. And that's the only thing about the mosh pit. I look at the people and think, you haven't heard a thing. There's a noise in the background and you're jumping about. It's great fun. I get it. I'm more of I want to go and see the band and listen to the band. But yeah, it was fab. We had a great